live from Orlando, Florida. It's your old pal Slim with a special bonus Halloween episode of 70mm, a podcast for movie fans just like you. Disclaimer at the top of the show, okay? We're not experts. This one is for the Friday the 13th fans that have come to this episode. Just right off the bat, we're not experts, but we do love watching movies. With me in the studio is my close friend and artist, Danny Haas.
Hello.
And our close friend and movie insider, Pert Alexis.
Happy Halloween. I hope everyone's having a great time. Be sure to have your kids in before dark. Don't want to have the young ones out there too long.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, indeed. We have our very own producer, Dale, with us in studio, co-host behind Bat and Spider, my favorite podcast. Welcome back to the show, Dale.
Slim, Pro, Danny, thank you for having me. Happy Halloween, everyone. Happy, what do they say? Samhain. Happy Samhain.
Samhain?
Samhain. Yeah, but then some say Samhain.
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 What do they say in Halloween 3? The Irish. Samhain.
Oh, Samhain.
The evil McGonagall that ran that company. Whatever his name was.
Conal Cochran.
Oh, yes. Tom Atkins, which we've talked about recently on this show.
Yep.
Love Machine, Tom Atkins.
Remember his A cheeks and was it The Fog?
Did he show
Tom's
cheeks in
butt.
The Fog?
Yeah, it was either The Fog or
I don't remember.
The
Howling.
or Halloween 3.
That was not Tom Atkins. All right, so this is we try to do
Tom
something.
Askins. Never been said before, probably.
We try to do something every Halloween time frame. Last year, I think we released Friday the 13th, part 1 on Friday the 13th. Might have been October. I can't remember. So we thought, we're going to be together in Orlando, Florida, 70mm HQ in Florida. This is the Florida HQ.
Florida HQ.
We are currently together because we're recording our December episodes. So we can take the month off, be with our family during the holidays, whichever holidays you celebrate in December. Happy December to everybody. So we're going to do Friday the 13th part 2. And, if you're a super horror nerd, you just want to get to that discussion, use the chapters. But I thought it might be fun to talk about this trip that we're on because we went to Disney for a day this week. We went to almost every park, the four of us.
We did.
Which is just amazing to say out loud. Just the 4 friends of this group.
Yeah.
We went to Disney and just had a day, 7:30 a.m.
Just a day.
We went out
At the
there.
gate.
Yeah, rope drop.
And it was Perto's first time.
My first time. And listen, I get it. Okay? I get it now.
You understand?
The magic. I felt the magic.
Oh,
I was in the magic. It was all around me
yeah.
Ensconced.
for over 20,000 steps, 8 hours. I mean, we were in Hollywood Studios. We were closing it down there.
We did.
There was a building closed and we got in. We said, we need to see the Rocketeer set piece.
They opened the door for us.
They opened it, yeah. Danny's pool inside Disney World.
It's
Unreal.
It's incredible.
The magic that
It's
he brings
incredible.
with him.
I mean, to set the stage, just a reminder, if you're here for Friday the 13th part 2,
Right around the corner.
Jason Voorhees and the rest of the counselors, the 30 counselors he murdered, use the chapters to skip ahead to that discussion. It's going to be great.
Happy Halloween.
I just have to say off the bat, I did end up telling this to my wife, but the weather in Florida right now and the day we were in Disney, it didn't go above 72 degrees. I didn't know that was physically possible in Disney.
I mean, it's like seeing a shooting star. It's you're lucky to see it. You're lucky to have been here and felt this feeling because it's not around often.
Right. And I'm going to be back here with my wife and son while this episode posts. We'll be in Disney for Halloween for our family trip.
Yeah.
And at the end of the night, when we were walking around Hollywood Studios, I was begging for a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
It was windy.
You were.
I don't sell sweatshirts in Galaxy's Edge. Cloaks.
I mean, there's just so much to talk about. But I mean, part of the first thing we did in the morning was go to Flight of Passage, Pandora.
Yeah.
How did you feel about seeing Pandora? We've covered on this show. We've loved it. You saw it in real life.
I mean, I cry every time I watch Avatar. Each one, both perfect movies.
Oh.
Being being there was like being home. Like it was a spiritual experience. I mean, amazing to see the floating rocks up there. I mean, once you're in it, first ride of the day was standing in line. It's one of the best rides. Just getting to Flight of Passage. But yeah, amazing that. And then also the little ride, you go to see the animatronic Navi in there. She was up and running.
Yes.
Just amazing. So thankful to finally get there.
Where did we go from there? We were in where did we start?
We were Animal Kingdom. We did the Navi, Air Pandora, and then we went to the safari. We had a long time to safari.
Yeah.
We did the safari ride, and then we just kind of meandered our way out to see the tree. We made our way to Magic Kingdom for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time we spent there doing the classics.
Haunted Manch.
I got to share Dole Whips with three of my favorite people in the world. I mean, you asked me
Say it.
You asked
No
me what my
words.
favorite, the greatest thing I could do. It's Dole Whips with my friends and then father my children.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're not going to say where Denny's hand was at the chart where he said each of those, but we saw
Open
them
to
personally in
interpretation.
real life.
I have a great time at Disney, and then I love sharing it. And I love that people love it with me.
Yeah, you had the day planned out. And while we're in line for Dole Whip, like a kid asked Proto to make a trade for one of his pins on your sling.
God.
The
Yeah.
It's
magic.
amazing.
And it was a Danny Haas pin that he
Yes.
wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gave him my Frankenstein's
I'll give you a
monster.
replacement.
Did he pick Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked him which one he wanted. I feel like how can I refuse a child?
I know.
You know, the bravery to go up to me, ask me for a pin. You know, he gave me Rocket back. I mean, I'll cherish that moment
Oh
forever.
my gosh.
And we saw Pirates of the Caribbean. We did
Yeah.
that. It was closed until like at the last minute when we were about to leave.
Yeah.
And we were able to pretty much get on that with maybe like a 5-minute wait.
Yeah.
Not
we got
even.
Pirates.
Johnny.
Yeah.
How about
and then we made our way to, you bring this up. Please talk about Johnny Depp.
Proto asked a question about Johnny Depp on the rides that inferred that the movies came after the Pirates ride, but that Johnny Depp's character was always on the Pirates ride,
Right.
like Captain Sparrow. And Proto was like almost shocked, like, I can't believe how Johnny Depp looks just like Jack Sparrow.
They nailed the casting.
nailed him.
That was a great revelation for the night.
So I just wanted to touch on that because I think it was amazing. Where do we go after that?
Hollywood Studios. And, Galaxy's Edge, we got to experience the magic of Imagineering when it comes to being immersed in another world, a galaxy far, far away. Rise of Resistance, we got to ride together. It's a phenomenal feat of an attraction experience. But then we closed out the night at Oga's Canteen. We drank in the cantina on Star Wars Land together. It was a perfect day, if I can be frank.
It was.
Yeah.
It went off without a hitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
Pretty much this entire
True.
weekend has gone out off without a hitch. It's not like we haven't lost a recording of an episode.
We haven't had to record
it
something
twice.
twice.
Everything's been perfect. Everything's been fine.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I can't wait to talk about Friday the 13th part 2.
Yeah,
Not
When
for
we
a
get
second time.
chomping at the bit.
But that was so ahead of this trip. I had talked to my wife and son. I had not been to Disney since they built the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah,
That was the last time I was there, was when it was still under construction. So I had talked to you guys like, I don't think I can do the Star Wars stuff without my family. I'm trying to keep the magic alive,
Sure.
yeah.
the marriage magic. But last week at dinner, she was talking to me with James, and they're like, we were talking, if you want to do the Star Wars stuff, you can.
Wow.
If you want.
Wow.
Because they don't really care about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Safe space.
Yeah, it's a safe space.
So when we went to Hollywood Studios, the first thing we did was like get in line for Rise.
Yeah,
And, that was a good chunk of our day, was in line for Rise.
70 minutes.
Yeah.
So that was a long one. And I didn't know what to expect because I honestly haven't done any research on Rise.
Yeah.
Like I know, one character is there in a hologram. And I didn't know, I hate to use the word immersive, but I didn't know there was
It's
like a
okay.
storyline,
Yeah,
that like you're a part of. Like you get arrested by the First Order and taken into a cell. Like it's so weird, like to look back on it, like you're part of a story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, there wasn't really a whole lot that happened while you were in the cell. So is that like a secret time sink? Like,
Yeah.
or is that, I guess it's like part of the queue, but it's like an immersive queue. Is that safe to say?
Right. It's like Disney's magic in moving people around, shuffling people into different places. It's like we know that this is the big ride everyone's been waiting for Star Wars. So how do we not have an hour, 190-minute line of people just standing outside? Let's make the line have these moments of immersion where you're talking to Rey, and then your group goes into the shuttle, and then you get grouped somewhere else. You're just standing in a line until you get into the ride. But
you
what
really
they've done
are.
is they've broken it up into these immersive experiences to where your brain is tricking you that you are now in this moment and you're not in line anymore. You're already experiencing this magic. So it's Disney's way of doing that.
It's like an extension of Flight of Passage where you're getting the spray on you, because that's like, you're still kind of technically in a line, but it's an immersive part of that line.
Yeah.
So the point when we got into the cars at
Yeah.
Star Wars, I was like, oh, I guess we're at the end of the ride, the big send off.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like now looking back, like it didn't even start yet.
Right.
Really.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
this is the ride.
That's the ride.
You're
It's a
finally
good
in it.
long ride.
Yeah.
So like it messed up my brain a little bit to like think about it that way, because I didn't think about it in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as you start making like contact with the story of the ride, like I can't remember if as soon as you're put into the hologram room, it feels like the ride starts there.
Yeah.
And it like triples the time of the ride or quadruples it, you know,
Yeah, it
because
makes
you're
the-
part of an experience the entire time before the actual thrill ride starts.
One of the coolest
Amazing.
things too was like parts of the ride are outdoors. And when we finally got there, it's nighttime.
Oh,
So it looks sick, like getting into the transport at night. And I was totally fooled at the end of the ride, or maybe at the front when we first walk outside. I was like, this looks so real. And like, oh wait, I'm actually outside. This isn't some hologram or like
we also
Disney
hit it
Dome.
like perfect where we got in line at like afternoon, but 70 minutes later the sun's gone down, but we've been inside the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So when you step outside, it's like, is this a dome? What are
Right.
we in?
Yeah.
I was
now?
totally fooled.
It's a sunset back there.
Totally fooled.
Mm.
We didn't need to talk about Kylo's animatronic though.
Let's bring it up.
Do you have any thoughts on the Kylo animatronic, Proto? Did you love it, or do you have other thoughts?
It definitely threw me for a loop, especially after seeing what some of the animatronics look like there. I mean, we went on Pirates, and I mean, there was like 20 animatronics in Pirates that were better than Kylo Ren. I mean, his hands,
Yeah.
no control of his fingers,
Right.
just like two toothpicks moving up and down.
I need someone to be scolded about what was going on with the Kylo Ren animatronic. I felt laughable, like what that character was doing with its arms and its cloak, like blowing.
Mhm.
We could do better, I think. I mean, the
Yeah.
whole thing looks like it cost $500 million.
Yeah.
Put a little bit more into Kylo.
Right. Kylo, I forgot Kylo's cape is. I'm just like, oh my God, he's so angry with the Force right now. His cape is just going nuts in directions. It's just like a gust of wind just taking it.
But I mean, that land at night,
Yeah.
the way we timed it, where there was barely anybody there, walking around was amazing, because I had a mental image of that place being kind of small just from like pictures that I've seen, but
Yeah.
it felt big at night.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there was a point where we were in the cantina, we see the Millennium Falcon, then we go like down one of the pathways, and it's like this whole other giant area that we didn't see yet. And I was like, whoa, this is
Yeah.
here too. It just kept going, really. I was surprised at how big everything felt. Like the buildings are they're real, they're huge. They're like 3 or 4 stories tall. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cute when you walk in there and, like that big building is trader shops. Like you're like trading with these like small time,
Yeah.
marketeers that are trying to just like earn their little living, but they're selling like expensive Disney merch, but it's not even called money. It's credits on Batu. And
credits.
yeah, it's so
Bright
crazy.
suns.
And I think we've said it on the show before about how we wanted more like theme parks with just like sets. Like in line at Star Wars, we were talking about like, can you imagine a bat cave
Right.
at Universal where the queue is like you're just walking around the Batcave and maybe there's something that happens.
Yeah.
But how sick would that be? You walk into a room and the Batwing is there, full size. Maybe the Batmobile's there. Like I would wait in line for 2 hours for that.
Walking by the glass case of all the different bat suits.
Yes.
I mean,
There's so much you could fill in a line for
I
the
know.
Batcave. And then, then we're saying like maybe they do a Smuggler's Run thing where like the ride is the Batmobile and you get in there, but there's like 300 Batmobiles underground. So they're like everyone gets their own thing. Oh my God.
Oh,
We had so many amazing ideas in that line.
no one listens to us.
Where's Bob Eisner? Can we get him on the horn?
Is he on not getting the paid
Bye-bye.
patron? Is he only a free patron? Is that
Yeah,
why?
he's not. He's just a free.
Is he a
patron.
free member?
Can we give him a free
Let's
membership?
talk. Let's get in touch to
Yeah.
see what we can come up with for Universal. The whole point of that story was that there's so many things at the Star Wars land that felt like sets that I could just
Yeah.
kind of chill with for a few minutes, and that was great.
Yeah.
Like the ship, the First Order ship.
Yeah.
We got
Kylo's
some
ship.
good amount of. We got a couple minutes in there, and I was able to gawk around for a while. It was cool.
Oh, yeah. The hangar bay.
Yeah, very
Incredible.
smart, very smart. And the Millennium Falcon chilling there. We saw Chewie.
Chewie came up.
Chewie
talked
came
to
out
us.
next to the Falcon.
Chewie came to see us.
He did.
Yeah.
I do think his costume,
Oh boy.
his
Let it out.
Oh boy.
his lips in the photo, like, and in real life, it just didn't feel like.
Yeah.
Are you Chewie's cousin? Like,
Right.
I don't know.
Paul Sorvino. Paul Sorvino, Chewbacca.
Shout out.
Anything else from our Disney day? It was just one day, but we got a lot done.
We got a lot done. So proud.
I mean,
You could barely walk after you got out of the car when we went to a convenience store that night.
I didn't. I was going to walk in and, they were going to start putting like red poppies in my shirt lapel. Like they thought I
To
fought
revive
in
you.
an old war. I was permanently, in shape. I was not in any shape.
yeah. One highlight for me was sitting in a Doom buggy next to someone who had never been on the Haunted Mansion before in his life.
Oh,
And I'm sitting there praying,
yeah.
like, let everything be working.
Mhm.
Let him get this Haunted Mansion experience that is like my favorite. And we really did. Everything looked great.
mm-hmm.
I think there was an animatronic recently just added back in. The hearse ghost in the graveyard was just added back in. So it was a full graveyard right now. Nothing's broke. It was great.
Yeah, what'd you think of the Haunted Mansion, Proto?
I love Flight of Passage. I love Rise of the Resistance, but I think Haunted Mansion was the best experience there. It's the most where I felt like I was watching literal magic happen in front of me, where I don't know how I'm seeing what I'm seeing.
Gosh.
And to have that, like, as an adult, that experience, like, there's not many things in life where you have that, like, sense of wonder and surprise and, like, confusion as to how you're even seeing what's in front of you. And the fact that you can have that experience there is, there's nothing like that. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was interesting too to hear, Danny, you explain the way that ride is set up,
Mhm.
which, you've talked about on your very popular podcast.
Soon. Yeah.
Very soon.
Actually,
check it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or is it out now? I don't even know when this.
When
considering
this
when
is
episode
released,
posts.
yes, it'll be out.
The Yeti is still broken. Is the Yeti broken?
Who can
The
say?
Yeti is potentially broken.
We didn't get to confirm this weekend.
No. Not all of us ride roller coasters.
But I was saying how, like, the way that ride is set up, it's continuously moving those cars.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
at the end, we were kind of stuck. I thought something was broken, but that Danny told us that, like, because that ride is broken, it's difficult to get handy-capable people onto it. Like the whole ride has to stop.
Right. The
that to
Omnimover
happen.
ride system has to come to a stop if it's either someone in a handicap or because it doesn't quit. If you can ride that thing fully through, but if someone needs to stop, that ride has to stop.
Yeah. Imagine getting run over by one of those cars. Like you trip.
Jesus.
You trip the wrong way. You're getting like drugged through the
Yeah.
Haunted Mansion.
Yeah. It's you have ground beef for a face. After you turn on the brights, you turn on the overhead brights, they call them when you're working at the mansion.
Yeah.
You turn those on and you see the massacre that just occurred when a guest
Yeah.
meets their fate.
I mean, there's
And then you try to put astringent on these wounds or try to make sure they're clean.
yeah.
You're not sending this patient in shell shock. Just trying to clean the wound.
Yeah, God. Wasn't there a war game for like PlayStation called Shell Shock Nam? Do you remember that game?
There
Yeah.
was.
Shell
There
Shock
was.
Nam.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, looking back, it's some of the video games we played.
It's I mean, my gosh, we're
I
just
feel very bad for having
just on the
participated. Like even now, just thinking out loud sounds absurd. Remember, we loved playing Shell Shock Nam on Xbox.
God.
Oh boy. Okay. Should we get into Friday the 13th Part 2?
I think we should.
Yeah.
Jason Voorhees back from underwater. We thought we should go back to the well. Maybe we do Part 3 next year, the 3D version.
3D.
Pardo, what's this movie about?
Camp counselors are going back to Crystal Lake. It's opening back up again after, was it 5 years? The number of years since that fateful day when Jason Voorhees' mom killed everyone, but one escaped until she's at home trying to live her life, and Jason comes for her, kills her right through the skull with something,
Ice pick.
an ice pick.
Gruesome.
Something gruesome.
Cut to new group of counselors at the camp. They're getting ready for the arrival. They're getting familiar with the environment, but Jason is there. He lives on premises, of course, and these children, they're
Stabilized
horny. They're horny for each other. They're horny for love, but Jason's more horny for death. He's gonna get him.
Yeah.
He's gonna get him on Friday the 13th Part 2.
He's got a boner for murder. He's Jason.
Well, Dale, you're the expert. You know, the Friday the 13th super fans that are probably coming home from a Cherry Hill Con to listen to this episode. Maybe they found it on Spotify. They've skipped through our Disney talk.
They're still high on, coming out of that.
Robert
grind.
Englund, probably doing like a face next to him. Like,
Right, yeah. It's like blood on his shirt for the ones who spend extra money for the photo ops.
Now, you're the expert on this show. You're representing those people right now. You've grown up with Jason and a multitude of other slashers.
It's a lot of pressure.
No pressure. What's your long-term history with Jason Voorhees? Tell us.
Boy, TNT, USA, weekends on USA. I feel like on USA 5 times a year they had a Friday the 13th marathon showing all the ones that they usually could, which usually started with number 2 or number 3. Never the first one. But I used to eat it all up. I don't know when I switched from being terrified of Jason to absolutely eating this stuff up, but I think the USA cuts definitely helped like ease me into what I used to find like grotesque and be terrified of. Like The Gate was a core like pee myself, I'm too young and I'm not going to survive this kind of like movie. But after that, the USA cut for whatever reason, Freddy or Jason just like made me fall in love with the genre and how like just easy non-thinking it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Just along for the ride.
Yeah. So
Watch
Jason's
it.
probably my first like heavy interest like franchise, Friday the 13th.
Did you watch the 4K of this? Is there a 4K of this? Do you have a disc of this?
The second one, no. I don't have any 4Ks, but they did do a 4K of the first one, maybe all of them at this point. I don't remember.
Pearl, what was your mental state getting ready to watch the second part of Friday the 13th series?
My mental state, I didn't really know what to expect. I haven't seen any of the sequels. I only watched the first one for the first time for the show last year. So this is, I wasn't really sure what to expect. But Dale, you kind of mentioned it of like a pure slasher. That's what really stood out to me about this is how it's like, it's just like so simple. Like there isn't any added layers other than there's counselors at this camp and Jason's going to kill them. They're, like we're not growing in any way in terms of a story. And I'm sure that happens later with the movies after, but it just seems like this. It's just like, hey, it worked the first time. Let's just do the same movie again.
Mm-hmm. And it's like the prime time too for like a slasher to just like do that. It's like your sequel. Like, let's just do it again. But he's back this time. It had to have been pretty exciting for them to like see the hit that was part 1 and then be like, let's bring Jason back. And then let's just see what we can do after that. Like they're just making money hard with this character. Was Freddy out by this point? Nightmare on Elm Street? I guess it was, right?
Probably. When did this come out? 82?
If we had you in the sound booth, it would have been easier to check.
81. Yeah, I don't know if Nightmare on Elm Street was out yet.
Really?
Maybe.
I thought like we had kind of like crowned Nightmare on Elm Street as like the slasher that kicked off the genre. Somebody on this show said that. Maybe we should kick them off.
Nightmare on Elm Street was 84?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How many Jason Voorhees shirts do you own, Danny? Do you own any?
I'm going to say no Jason Voorhees shirt. And my only history is watching the first one time for this podcast 1 year ago. I'm waiting for the hockey mask.
Yeah.
Because it still wasn't here.
Still not
in
here.
this movie.
I was disappointed a little bit. Don't mind Baghead. But yeah, I don't have any issue. I have no history with this. And Jason falls into that, the shape like Michael.
Yeah.
These hulking, scary figures that are killing people genre that I find interesting that exists.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do is run faster than this guy or wheel faster.
Totally.
Somehow
Wheel
he's
down the
killing
stairs.
all these people.
Did you see that meme that Ev posted? Was it in Bat Spider or ours of like Michael from Halloween watching Jamie Lee Curtis in True Lies? His eyes were like bulging out of his mask. that sexy scene that she had.
So good.
Perdo, what's at the top of your list from this viewing that stuck out to you?
Let's see. Let's look at the notes here. What did I say the first time?
Mrs. Voorhees' teeth.
Oh my gosh.
Her chompers.
Those chompers.
Today is his birthday.
Driving the same Jeep from Salem's Lot, Mrs. Voorhees.
Oh, yeah. Jeez.
Was she?
They knew.
It's the same model. It's the same model. I'm pretty sure it was a CJ.
That means we know she
I think
could
her
close the
top
door
was-
to save her
Her
life.
top was down.
Excuse me.
Let's just get into some of the killings.
Oh,
Do
Let's
it.
get right
I
into
like
it.
this.
We've already killed 30 minutes with the Star Wars talk, so nobody feel any pressure to have to go deep on Friday the 13th Part 2 again.
My favorite kill, the wheelchair kid.
God.
This poor guy. I mean, he has this girl, the innuendos that are flying out of her mouth in seconds. Innuendo per minute from her is high. She's going to fulfill his dreams as a camp counselor, but before she can get back, he gets a machete to the face.
Worst timing ever.
God.
And then he's thrown down the Joker staircase. Like, which I don't think that staircase appears again in this movie. It's just suddenly there's this 3-story high staircase that
comically
he's
long.
pushed down, and then that's it.
Can we Photoshop maybe Joker on those stairs or him on the Joker stairs at some point?
Assuming it wasn't a stunt guy and it was just like a sandbag for a body, that wheelchair stayed perfectly on the,
Yeah,
on
that's true.
the
I don't know how they did
flight
that.
the whole way down.
That's true.
Took weeks to get that one shot for it
It
to
just
work.
kept doing it.
Probably because one bump, and if that dummy body goes flying, it turns into a horror film to a comedy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
If you see that body flop out of that chair,
my God, that scene in Naked Gun changed my life. And he goes down the steps in that movie.
He flips like ass over head, like 10 feet in the air.
I feel like you can see the like propulsion smoke after they shot him out of the wheelchair. You can see how they did it.
the guy that played the guy in the wheelchair, I kept thinking was the actor from Superman the movie that played young Clark.
Young
Kent
Clark.
Oh.
Farm. He looked like him so much to me.
Remember Young Clark running in the Superman the movie?
We can't talk about
Like he's on
running.
an invisible
Sorry, I didn't mean it
bicycle.
that way. I just remember
Gosh.
that scene where Clark is running looked fake.
Yeah.
That's all.
And he kept like leaping. He was like a gazelle.
Yeah, it was like Kermit the Frog running. on screen. I always forget that the start of this movie is like 20 minutes from the last movie. But I actually love the Mrs. Voorhees stuff all over again.
Mhm.
I love when she gets like that like fireplace poker on her back and it makes no noise, but she's just like, ah. And then like her getting decapitated still looks sick.
Yeah.
It
It's
looks great.
one of my favorite like film decapitations ever.
Top 3. Go.
Top 3, Mrs. Voorhees.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2,
Got that one.
I thought I was going to BS my way through this one, but I can't think of any other decapitations.
Your
Sorry.
BS meter's low.
Aragorn decapitation.
Oh,
Fellowship of the
Lord.
Ring.
Oh,
Okay,
my
that's
God.
2.
Okay.
Who's got a third
Decapitation's
one?
Great one.
I mean,
Who's got a third?
Highlander? Anyone?
Highlander.
Obvious.
We nailed it.
There you go.
Obviously, decapitation.
Yeah, easy top 3. Dale, what about you for this viewing?
Well, my top of the list would be Danny was talking about, how you just have to run faster than these knuckleheads who don't really have
Right.
a drive other than to be quiet and to kill. But Friday the 13th Part 2 is interesting to me because this is the first time they're going to say, let's use this person, this Jason kid, whoever he is, like, let's use him as our murderer this time because Mrs. Voorhees is definitely dead. And there's this whole chance for this new character. So they're trying to figure out this Jason character, but the guy who's playing Jason, he's like running across the dirt road to get away from the cop for a bit. And you can actually hear him like grunting at times, like heavy breathing and grunting. And he kills our final girl from Part 1 in the first 20 minutes of Part 2. And the amount of detective work that takes to be more than just a lumbering like kill machine that Jason is known as being, it's fascinating to me to like, none of this happens on screen, obviously, and nobody thought about any of this while like staging the death of the final girl from the first movie, right?
Yeah.
Like they just need to kill her off because it just makes sense for the story. But like Jason shows up in her neighborhood house. Who knows how far away from the lake,
Right.
even if it is the same town. But, he uses a phone to call her and like prank call her to get her all uneasy. And, he just has the workings of somebody who knows
Has a
what he's
brain.
doing. He just doesn't reveal any cards to literally anybody.
The deleted scene of Jason buying a bus ticket to get to her town.
Yeah.
With a bag on his head.
His mom's head is like wrapped up in a flannel, like draped over his. Yeah.
I wonder, like, how much time, I guess they had to have something for the first 10 minutes to 50 minutes, because if they don't have that, it's a pretty short movie. And what else are they going to add there?
Yeah,
But I was
right.
like, I think I said, I would have loved for the final girl, maybe to even not even be in this one, have that scene come out. And maybe the third one is like her coming back to
Yeah.
the camp, and maybe she's the lead again in the third one. And like, maybe she feels responsible to like hunt him or be involved again.
Yeah, that would be really cool to because she doesn't know whether her getting pulled under by the little boy was real or not. So she has like all this unfinished business with the lake and with the potential murderer that lives there. So
Mhm.
that would have been cool.
I mean, but plus the final girl survives this one too. Like they could buddy up right
Mhm.
in the third one.
Yeah.
Be pretty rad. Danny, what else is on your list?
I wanted to go back to the killings because there's 2 that I love. One is the couple. I think the only people that are coupled up when they make it to this camp, and they get in trouble. I think because they were going to look at the old camp area where Jason was. They got in trouble for going over there.
Oh yeah.
But when they finally bed each other in their dorm, and they get the spear through 2 of them, I was fist pumping because that was
Yeah.
awesome. Like I actually was hoping they would like pull back the camera a bit to see like
You wanted to see it.
I want to see them skewered through that bunk.
Yeah, you wanted to see
Yeah,
2
kielbasa.
points of penetration. The proof.
Oh man,
Yeah.
And then the second one I love is the perv that steals the clothes from the girl skinny dipping.
Oh my God.
his death when he's strung up by someone's trap.
Oh, yeah.
who's leaving traps?
Jason's trap. Big
Jason-
brain Jason.
Yeah, this dude's
Jason
thinking
left that
Oh
trap.
yeah.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
watching YouTubes on tying knots.
Jason's trapped and he's hanging there. And I love the slit throat like reveal. Like she's like, oh, I'm going to cut
Right.
you down or whatever. She comes back fully
Yeah.
dressed, unfortunately.
It's too late for him.
That guy was
Yeah.
thinking he was going to get laid so fast with his moves.
Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking. He
I'll
was
take your
pulling on
clothes. I'll slingshot rocks at you.
Yeah, after I hit
You're
you
gonna
with
want me
rocks.
immediately.
Can't you see we should be together?
her. Yeah. Some schoolyard stuff.
But like, what is the story reason about Jason existing in the first one? Right? Because Miss Voorhees is like getting revenge on her dead
Because Jason
son,
died. Yeah, right.
which is great. It makes sense. But Jason's alive. So what was he doing in the first one? If you try to like connect the dots, or should I just not even bother?
If are you saying does the mom know he's alive? That's the thing.
Yeah, maybe she's protecting him. This is her way to protect him.
Yeah.
I guess if she doesn't know he's alive, it makes sense. Like he's just in the woods reading books about buying tickets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Bus tickets.
How to store a dead head.
How about how neighborhoods work and electric stoves?
I feel like the real answer is that they had no plan.
Yes. Yeah,
Because back to Danny's point, this is what I wanted to bring up next is I still can't get over that he doesn't have the ski mask yet. Like I've never having not seen these movies, but seeing Jason in the ski mask all my life, and then to watch the first two movies and it doesn't even exist yet. And that is like the iconic image that is everywhere that you see. So it not existing yet, it just means like, so they come up with it at some point, like
Yeah.
during the third movie, right? So like someone had this idea of like, hey, maybe we'll just have him wear a ski mask this time instead of a bag.
Right.
And it explodes and is like the greatest idea ever for
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
this killer.
Millions and millions of hockey masks sold
Yeah.
It's wild.
across the
Yeah.
country.
Yeah, that's all you know is Jason. Jason wears a hockey mask. That's how you know it's you
Yeah.
know, that's-
It's the 3D one, right? Like, do you remember
Yeah.
offhand what the planet, how he gets the mask, or like what the story is?
We won't remember a year
We
from
were
now.
definitely not going to remember your.
Yeah, no. The one of the characters is just he's a big goofball. His name is Shelly, and he just like pranks people, and people hate him because like the pranks are just like uncalled for and a little like, maybe extreme or something like that. But he's just trying to fit in and be like sulky because nobody likes him. But at one point, he's wearing like a wetsuit, and he puts on a hockey mask, and he carries around a spear gun, and he's like trying to scare one of the girls. And then Jason kills him and takes his hockey mask.
That's at camp. Is that one at a camp too?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's one at a camp, but I think
When
they're
did
all
they
just
stop
going
being at camps?
Crystal Lake. They're at
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all no, are they at a camp?
There's one I remember
They
him.
just rent a house, I think.
There's one I remember him being resurrected. Like he gets buried at one, and then these kids put like an electrical, like a pipe in his grave,
Yeah.
and then it gets electrocuted from
What?
lightning, and that brings him back from the dead. Like honestly, kind of sick.
Yeah, it's
Um,
good. That's part 6, I think.
6. Oh, okay.
6.
Damn.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, but that one features a camp. There's kids. That's the only movie that features kids in the actual
Oh, the
camp.
the kids show up.
The kids show up and they're there. Yeah, and
Is
Jason's
that the
like,
one where like there's a few scenes of like kids taking a dump? I remember in one of my
me.
reviews being like, why are there so many scenes of kids taking a crap?
I think that's part 3. There's somebody in an outhouse.
I gotta look. up
Definitely
that.
part 3.
I gotta look
Toity
up-
kill.
Yeah, your Toity kill list would go insane with that
Yeah.
one. I gotta look up that review.
But Danny, while he's doing that,
Yeah.
the skewer scene,
Yeah.
they were going to give the movie an X rating had they maintained the scene how they filmed it.
Oh.
So they had to cut it way down.
Oh wow.
Does that footage exist?
I think so. I'll check.
Oh.
I might have the Blu-ray of where it exists.
Oh, interesting.
I'll check.
I
That
don't
would have given them an X rating.
Yeah. So like how bad could it
Oh,
have
that's
been?
brutal. Then
Yeah.
wow.
I don't have a review for 3, believe it or
Okay.
not. So it must not have been that
Maybe
one.
there's pooping and other.
I'm trying to
Jason.
find specifically a reference to pooping in my reviews.
Mm.
They asked Savini to come back for this one, but he was already on another movie, so he couldn't come back.
Who is this?
Here we go.
Friday the 13th Part 2.
I found it.
Like some other person did the effects and not Tom Savini.
Oh.
It's Friday the 13th, A New Beginning,
Okay.
Is that 7?
Part 5.
Oh, part 5. Oh, yeah.
And I gave it 3 stars. My review says nobody in this movie wipes their ass after taking a dump. One of the craziest things I've ever seen. Everyone in this thing running from Jason with a dirty ass.
Sounds like
I think they're just on it. They do their business and they just get off.
Yeah.
Like there's no TP being used. There's no dude wipes. Call forward for
That's a
dude
call
wipe
forward.
segment in December.
never been done. Yeah. Yeah, I always had an annoyance with that too. Like everybody's sitting down.
Mm-hmm.
So you're,
So what are
you're
they
probably
doing?
pooping.
Right.
You probably got to be pooping.
Yeah. Pro, anything else on your list that we didn't cover yet?
The final act where our final girl is getting chased, she has a whole world of directions to run, and she ends up back in a cabin under a bed. Like, you just got away from this killer. You're
Yeah.
outside, it's dark. Maybe just run straight in one direction and see how far you can go. Like, he'll never find you.
Right.
Just lay on the ground.
Yeah, or lay on the
Yeah.
ground. Yeah.
Next to a bush.
Stop sneaking around. Stop going back in buildings, opening doors. Anything but that.
Turn your lights on. Danny, anything else that we didn't hit from you?
I loved the scene of, I don't know if you just said it because I zoned out for a second. Sorry, Proto. When she puts the sweater back on and pretends to be Miss
Oh, yeah.
Voorhees.
Mm.
That's such a rad moment. And I love that it fools Jason almost to the point of submitting him. He's like, is he down on his knees at some one point? Like he's come
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
surrendering himself to Mother Voorhees again. I don't know. I really liked that. It was really cool. It was a cool aspect. I love the mirroring of the two faces because Miss Voorhees' face is.
Mm-hmm.
I should make a pin of Miss Voorhees' face.
That would be really good.
Yeah,
That
Okay.
would sell.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Imagine a kid coming up
Um,
to you in Disney asking for the Mrs.
This
Voorhees
is-
head pin.
The Pamela Voorhees' eyes were supposed to pop open at the end of this movie, but our good director Steve Miner refused that and said that would be silly and that you can't be doing
Yeah,
that.
we can't.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I wrote in my review, like, what is with the zoom in on the head at the end? Because nothing happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's just like an homage. It's just like an in remembrance of.
He thought it would be too weird, and yet Jason is alive. Jason in the
comes
second
back.
movie.
Yeah.
Like, slow down, buddy.
How about Jason's face being a Goonies homage?
Yeah. He looks kind of weird.
Yeah.
Another pube glued beard we've had to deal with here on this weekend.
We've dropped a few teasers for future episodes so far.
Oh yeah.
If you could piece that one together. Good.
Yeah.
DM me directly and I'll send you your
Genius.
prize.
Yeah, he looked like a werewolf. He was super hairy. There was
Yeah.
hair coming out of weird places on his head. Was not expecting any. He looked like I think he looked like a dog.
Yeah, he wasn't reading any
He's not reading anything.
like
Home and Country.
He's not
keeping
reading
it
anything
clean,
straight.
keeping a man's body clean as you're
No.
growing up books or something
Men's
like that. Yeah.
No. I don't think I have anything else. Wanted to touch on the skinny dipping.
Yeah.
Heck
Touch on
yeah.
it.
The confidence.
Yeah.
God.
I could never.
Yeah, I've never gone. I don't think I've gone skinny dipping. But her hair was wet when she got in the water. Did you notice that?
Yeah. It
She
didn't.
gets naked and then she's going in, and her hair is wet and slicked back already.
Heck yeah.
Second take.
I could say.
Oh.
Right.
Steve Miner. Can we do that
Oh,
again?
sorry, we need that one again. Creep. Sorry, alleged creep. I'm not saying. I'm not saying he did it.
Unconfirmed.
That was
Sorry,
a gag.
Steve.
That was a gag joke. The truck, the Chevy K10. I think
Jeez
it was.
Louise.
The fake towing. I
I
can you
I
imagine
would-
doing it to a friend?
I would kill.
Oh my God.
I would do anything for that truck.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely anything.
Yeah, that's
that truck.
sick friend.
Yeah.
Like that's not friendship.
That's up there with Marty McFly's truck. Like that's
Yes.
up there.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's like a
Every
thing
so
of
often,
beauty.
I feel like I'll go on like online to see like these
Auto
dream
trader.
trucks can't be that expensive now, right? Like, can I
Yeah.
get one of these trucks?
You got to be like $2,500, right? I mean,
Yeah,
come on.
exactly. But then I'm like, you get yourself a 2-seater truck.
Yeah.
You're really limiting yourself.
You're going to
Anything
you're going to
you
be
can
mad
do.
at yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. Like somehow I'd need a third vehicle, and
I
this
don't
would
know
be
what the
free.
problem is. Oh no, I have to drive around by myself.
Right? You were telling us. I don't know when this was. You were telling us you had like a 2-door car,
Yeah.
and would you have 2 kids by that
I had
point?
3.
I don't know
I had a
how that was.
two-seater.
I got to talk to Casey to see
Amazing.
what was going on.
I had a 2-seater. I clearly don't have it now. So
Yeah.
we had a talk. I
the
didn't.
talk happened
didn't
after
win.
the third
I didn't
child.
come out on top of that one.
I don't understand how it was that delayed.
Casey's hair in like Jason levels of like
Unkempt.
exhaustion. She's like, we need to talk about
This damn car.
the number of
Like
seats.
Jason Voorhees
Been
for
three.
part 2, having the conversation about the two-seater.
Sitting at the table across from each other.
I'm at 3 stars. I'm going up for Friday the 13th part 2. It's fun.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fun.
3 stars is fun. Danny, what about you?
I'm at 3 as well. I have a good time. My last note that wasn't read. I think I laughed the hardest at Jason taking the kettle off the stove.
Oh, yeah.
It's so bonkers to me that he does it. It's so natural too. And I don't know why it makes me laugh, but it did.
He's never seen a kettle in his life.
It was
or
just-
stove.
He drinks
Shouldn't
lake
he?
water.
But I should move this.
Yeah. I don't want this whole building to explode,
Yeah.
kill everyone. I just want her dead.
Oh, it's great. I have 3 stars. I have a great time. This was fun. This was a fun watch.
Okay.
My only other thing was the ending of him flying through the window in slow motion, and then it kind of cutting to it just being resolved. Like, we don't know what happened to the boyfriend. It was so weird and bizarre, and just kind of like the first one, how the first one had him jumping out of the water, and it doesn't fully make sense, but I guess it's the Friday the 13th way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's because it's like left nebulous, right?
Yeah.
Because it's such a
Yeah.
weird, like dreamy
Yeah.
sequence.
I'm at 3 stars too.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
4 stars
Yeah.
for old Dale _A.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Rebound
Yeah,
for the
this is one of my
superfans
go-tos.
listening.
I love it dearly. It's just an easy watch for me.
Yeah.
I put it on most times. If I put it on, I'm not even watching it. I just know it's on.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Halloween. Everyone out trick-or-treating. Be safe out there.
Please.
To answer any questions, yes, this is the second time we've recorded this episode. If you were wondering, I was using a new piece of equipment. Day 1, we tried it. I said, everyone just relax. Don't think about it until the last day. Maybe we feel the desire to do it again.
Right.
And the desire was obviously there.
Yeah.
Spending 30 minutes on Disney
We couldn't
to start the episode. Put my producer hat on. All right. So everyone have fun. We'll see you on the next episode.
70mm is a tape deck production featuring original artwork provided by Danny Haas. Spiritual guidance and V'ger, the robot who loves movies, provided by Pertalexis. Producer at large Dale _A. And music composed by Cinematric. Prints and other merch are available on 70mmpod.com. This episode was mixed, edited, and produced by me, Slim. Support our Patreon for access to our VHS Village Discord to talk movies with new friends, access to our exclusive episodes in the 70mm vault, discounts on merch, uncut episodes, and a physical membership card mailed to you. To check out other Tape Deck podcasts, find the link in the episode notes. And if you'd like to support our friends at Letterboxd and upgrade to pro or patron status, you can do so with a 20% off discount using the links on 70mmpod.com. Goodbye.
This is a Tape Deck podcast.